as Ernest Shackleton's long-lost ship Endurance is finally found in polar ice and sank into the frigid waters of the Antarctic.
Antarctica is like no other place on the planet. It is unique. It's otherworldly. It's so separated from the rest of the world, and yet is so important to the rest of the world.
Seals in Antarctica have stumbled upon something shocking beyond the giant ice wall. In this harsh, treeless landscape where life barely survives, these seals battle freezing cold and constant threats in darkness. They desperately search for tiny breathing holes and avoid lurking dangers. What terrifying secrets could be hidden in such a remote, icy place? Join us. Let us uncover what lies beyond the ice wall. Antarctica's Seal Secrets Revealed. Antarctica is unlike any other place on Earth. It's a cold, icy land without native land mammals, reptiles, or amphibians. No trees or flowering plants can survive its severe climate, yet life finds a way to survive. The ice here acts like a time capsule, preserving stories from ancient creatures and past climate changes. One amazing discovery in Antarctica is the seals. Often called the pups of the ocean, these creatures look unassuming but are incredibly skilled at surviving. Weddell seals, for example, are perfectly adapted to the freezing conditions. They can dive over 2,000 feet into the ocean and hold their breath for more than an hour. But that's not all. Recent studies show that these seals have a sharp sense of smell. They use it to find breathing holes in thick ice and detect predators and prey, even in the dark polar winter. But this wasn't the only surprising find. Scientists also discovered the remains of a giant bird that once flew over this icy land. This ancient bird suggests that Antarctica was once a very different place, possibly warmer and full of life. These discoveries challenge what we know about this remote continent. The seals and the giant bird show how life can adapt to extreme conditions. Every discovery from the ice provides more information about Earth's past climate and how species have evolved over time. It seems that Weddell seals might use the Earth's magnetic field to navigate through icy waters, like having a built-in GPS. This ability likely evolved to help them survive and hunt in their challenging environment. But the most astonishing part was discovered in early 2022 when a team of scientists found a massive breeding colony of these seals in the depths of the Weddell Sea. This finding is crucial as it provides new insights into how Weddell seals reproduce and adapt to extreme environments. The colony, located in a remote and unexplored area, offers a unique look into the life cycle of these animals and how they interact with the polar ecosystem. Learning about the seals' navigation skills and reproductive behaviors not only enhances our understanding of marine biology, but also shows how species adapt to some of the harshest conditions on Earth. But there's more. Ongoing research continues to uncover fascinating details about the lives of Weddell seals, highlighting their incredible adaptability and resilience. In the icy waters of Antarctica, there's a vast underwater area where icefish live and breed. This space covers about 92 square miles, the size of Malta. In this nursery, there are around 60 million nests. Each nest, carefully made by the icefish, is about 75 centimeters wide. These nests are homes for the fish and their thousands of eggs. Adult icefish are highly protective parents. They clean the seabed for their nests and closely guard their eggs. This ensures that the eggs are safe from predators and strong ocean currents. The icefish's dedication shows how well they have adapted to one of the coldest places on Earth. But this wasn't the only fascinating thing. These fish have clear blood. Unlike other fish, their blood lacks hemoglobin, but contains special antifreeze proteins. These proteins stop ice crystals from forming in their bodies, allowing them to survive in freezing temperatures. Next, we discover how creatures like the icefish thrive in the coldest places on Earth. The melon-sized meteorite. The icefish's ability to live in such harsh conditions is remarkable. The Weddell Sea, where these fish live, is one of the last untouched marine ecosystems in the world. Studying this area helps us learn more about these resilient creatures and how to protect these pristine environments. Understanding the icefish's survival tactics gives us valuable insights into how life can adapt to extreme conditions. A team of researchers made a startling discovery in Antarctica. They found 5 new meteorites, and one of them was among the largest ever found on the continent. This meteorite weighed about 17 pounds, roughly the size of a melon, but much heavier due to its metallic makeup. Finding a meteorite this large is a big achievement because it's quite rare in Antarctica. About 100 meteorites of similar size have been found there. This new addition was a significant boost to the collection of space materials gathered in Antarctica. You might wonder why Antarctica is such a good place to find meteorites. It's not because more meteorites fall there, but because they are easier to spot and well preserved. The vast white ice makes the dark rocks stand out, and the cold, dry climate keeps them in good condition. After exploring the frozen landscape, we found even more amazing things about Earth and space. The treasures hidden under Antarctica's ice are just one part of its importance. The clear and well-preserved ice here makes it a perfect place to find meteorites. Each meteorite gives scientists valuable clues about space, helping to piece together the universe's vast history. These findings in the ice keep sparking excitement and pushing research forward. Every new discovery deepens our understanding of the universe and keeps scientists eager for more information. In a remarkable 2010 expedition, researchers from the Antarctic Geological Drilling Program used a robot with a camera to explore beneath the ice shelf. They were surprised to find thousands of tiny sea anemones living in the ice, unlike any seen before. These sea anemones, living within the ice instead of on the ocean floor as usual, dangled their tentacles in the cold water, like delicate flowers hanging from a ceiling. These were known as ghost excavator anemones. Each of these tiny creatures, measuring less than an inch long when contracted, could stretch up to 4 times their size, each bearing 20 to 24 tentacles. This showed how life adapts in unexpected ways to survive in harsh conditions. But this wasn't the most surprising part. In 2019, a team from the International Ocean Discovery Program made another unexpected find. While mapping the sea floor in the Scotia Sea, north of mainland Antarctica, they accidentally collected ancient sedimentary DNA, or sedna, from up to 584 feet below the seabed. This lucky find of ancient DNA has opened new doors to understanding the long history of life in these remote oceanic areas. As researchers get ready to explore these genetic treasures, they aim to recreate the past ecosystems that once thrived in the now icy and barren Antarctic waters. The underwater history of Antarctica keeps evolving, revealing more with each discovery. The sedna contains genetic material from diatoms, tiny but significant ocean plants. These samples hold DNA up to 1 million years old, much older than previously known DNA from Arctic ice by 350,000 years. As temperatures keep dropping, scientists hope to find even older DNA samples. The colossal squid isn't just a myth. It's a real creature that has been studied a lot. It has the largest eyes of any animal, each up to 16 inches across. This squid can grow up to 46 feet long, and some reports suggest it could be even larger. Unlike the giant squid, which has tentacles with small toothed suckers, the colossal squid has tentacles with sharp hooks, perfect for catching and holding large prey, showing its skill as a predator in the deep sea. Deep in the ocean, the colossal squid awaits, revealing secrets of the deep sea. Beneath the waves. In the ocean depths, the colossal squid remains one of the most fascinating creatures. Known for its enormous beak, the largest among squids, it can easily tear apart its prey. The colossal squid isn't just any predator. It's a master of ambush attacks. Despite its scary abilities, it avoids the ocean surface and lives in the dark depths up to 6,890 feet below, making it rarely seen and facing few threats in its shadowy home. However, the sperm whale, one of the few animals that can challenge it, sometimes bears scars from battles with these giant squids. But what's truly surprising is how little we know about the colossal squid's life. It's believed to be a solitary hunter, using stealth to capture its prey. The scarcity of direct encounters means there's still much to learn, making it a key subject of interest for marine scientists. In recent years, many expeditions have ventured into the ocean depths to learn more about this elusive giant, but sightings remain incredibly rare. Now, let's talk about another adventure. Over 100 years ago, the polar regions were among Earth's last unexplored places. Ernest Shackleton and his crew were among those drawn to these icy realms. On December 5, 1914, their ship, the Endurance, set out from South Georgia Island towards Antarctica. Built to withstand the extreme conditions of the poles, the ship carried Shackleton, his team of scientists, and even a stowaway who later joined the crew. As they went further into the Weddell Sea, the ice grew thicker and more dangerous. Despite their best efforts, the Endurance got stuck in the ice, marking a significant but tragic moment in polar exploration history. The ship Endurance remained stuck as the crew tried desperately to free it using picks and saws, but they couldn't. The ice was too strong. As the Antarctic winter worsened, the pressure began to crush the ship. For months, the crew endured brutal conditions on board, hoping the ice would melt, but it never did. On October 27, 1915, Sir Ernest Shackleton made the tough decision to abandon the Endurance. The ice finally broke the hull, and the ship sank into the cold waters. With each discovery, stories of survival and the human spirit come to light. Over 100 years later, the remains of the Endurance were found. Using advanced technology, remotely operated vehicles, and guided by detailed notes from the ship's captain, Frank Worsley, a team from the South African-American icebreaker SA Agulhas II located the wreck. Amazingly, the cold Antarctic waters had preserved the wooden structure of the ship in good condition. Even after all these years, the ship's name could still be seen on its stern. The discovery of this old fruitcake at Cape Adare isn't just a quirky historical find. It shows how early explorers relied on high-energy, long-lasting foods. Despite its age, the cake is still in good condition and smells pleasant, thanks to Antarctica's extreme cold, which acted like a natural freezer. This was crucial for explorers like Scott and his team during their tough journeys. In 2017, conservators from the Antarctic Heritage Trust found this relic in a rusty tin, wrapped in waxed paper, in a hut at Cape Adare. Though it looked and smelled good, no one dared to taste it, knowing its historical value was much more important than its edibility. Discoveries like this, along with McKinley's rare old Highland malt and the unique fruitcake, tell stories of survival, celebration, and human effort in one of the world's most remote and harsh places. These stories captivate us because they show resilience and a direct connection to the past. From icy depths to frozen shores, we uncover stories of survival and exploration in Antarctica. The spirit of survival, Antarctica's preserved delicacies. McKinley's rare old Highland malt, made in the early 20th century, became famous for its rich, deep flavors that mirrored the rugged landscapes of its origin. Its popularity led to a second edition named The Journey, celebrating its success. This whiskey wasn't just a drink, but an experience, a taste of history enjoyed by whiskey lovers worldwide. But the most interesting part is how these whiskeys and the fruitcake from Cape Adare show not only the skill of their makers, but also the extraordinary conditions of Antarctica that have kept them preserved. These finds link the past and present, letting us experience what it was like for explorers more than a century ago. The recreation of the whiskey brought history to life, giving today's enthusiasts a flavor of the past. As we find these remnants from the past, they remind us of the ongoing connection between human history and the natural world. They show us the courage and determination of early explorers, whose legacies live on not just in stories, but in the artifacts they left behind. This blend of beauty, survival, and scientific discovery in Antarctica continues to inspire and fascinate us, offering a deeper understanding of how humans have explored and interacted with the most isolated places on the planet. The fruitcake may have lasted over the years, but Scott and his team faced many hardships. They depended on these calorie-rich cakes for energy, but the harsh Antarctic conditions were relentless. The preserved fruitcake symbolizes more than just an old dessert. It stands for human determination, showing how people can overcome the toughest challenges in one of the most unfriendly places on Earth. In the icy waters of the Southern Ocean, there's a unique place called the East Scotia Ridge. Here, hot water erupts from the ocean floor, filled with minerals. Even though the surrounding waters are freezing, these vents are incredibly hot, with temperatures over 400 degrees Celsius. This special environment is home to species found nowhere else on Earth. One such creature is the Yeti crab, known for its hairy bristles. These hairs are not just for appearance, they are covered in bacteria that consume the minerals from the vent waters. These bacteria turn the minerals into nutrients through a process called chemosynthesis, which is vital for the Yeti crab's survival in an area where typical food is absent. Around these vents, the crabs gather in large numbers, sometimes more than 700 crabs per square meter. While they aren't dangerous to humans, seeing so many in one place is quite a sight. In Antarctica's extreme cold, we find both unique wildlife and unexpected human touches, like a solitary ATM. Frozen finances. The tale of Antarctica's essential ATM. Antarctica has no citizens or government, but it hosts a seasonal population of 1,000 to 5,000 people every year, including scientists, researchers, and support staff. During the long winter months, the population drops to about 200 people. For these individuals, the McMurdo Station ATM is essential, providing cash for the station's store, post office, and bar. But running this ATM in such a tough environment is challenging. Wells Fargo is responsible for its maintenance, ensuring it works smoothly despite the extreme cold. Every 2 years, specially trained technicians travel to Antarctica, ready to handle the isolation and severe weather, especially if stranded by sudden storms. However, if technicians aren't available and the ATM breaks down, station personnel can do basic repairs. A backup ATM is also on site to provide spare parts when needed. This setup shows the importance of cash, even in one of the most remote places on Earth. But the ATM isn't the only odd thing here. The local wildlife gives the station an otherworldly feel. One of the most notable creatures is the Antarctic scale worm, also known as Eulogisca gigantea. This worm, which can grow up to a foot long, thrives in the cold, barren landscapes. Its segmented body has bright, iridescent scales that protect it from the harsh Antarctic conditions, making it a tough resident of this icy land. This look into life at McMurdo Station highlights the mix of human effort and natural wonder that defines this place. Daily life here isn't just about scientific research and coexistence. It also involves the unusual task of keeping modern finances running far from any city. Now, we see the true challenges of living in such a harsh environment. During a fierce storm, the ship was last seen struggling near the South Shetland Islands, close to Antarctica. Soon after, the San Telmo disappeared into the icy sea, vanishing without a trace. For over 100 years, the fate of the San Telmo was a mystery until 1960, when wreckage was found on Livingston Island in the South Shetland Islands. These pieces suggested a tragic end for the San Telmo, but it wasn't clear if they were from the Spanish ship. This find brought up the idea that the San Telmo might have been the first shipwreck in Antarctic waters. More interestingly, it raised the possibility that its crew might have been the first people to reach Antarctica. If they made it to shore before succumbing to the cold, they would have been early explorers of this icy land, years before others arrived. Despite many searches and lots of speculation, the full story of the San Telmo and its crew remains unknown, a haunting reminder of human ambition and the power of nature. Deep in Antarctica, Hidden beneath layers of ice and time, there are glimpses of an ancient world. One of the oldest treasures found is the fossil of the Antarctic tundra beetle. Discovered near the Beardmore Glacier, this beetle lived about 14 to 20 million years ago. Back then, Antarctica was not the frozen desert it is today, but was full of life. The beetle lived among insects, beech trees, buttercups, and mosses that grew by now vanished streams. The fossil is a silent reminder of the lush life that once thrived in this now barren region. But this isn't the only fascinating find in Antarctica. In the vast emptiness of this continent, a more recent yet equally interesting story was discovered. In an old expedition hut, a box of photographic negatives was found frozen in a block of ice. These photos, taken by Arnold Patrick Spencer Smith during Ernest Shackleton's Ross Sea Party in 1912, tell a story of survival and brave exploration. The group intended to be the first to reach the South Pole. Sadly, they never made it. Their ship, the SS Aurora, was lost in a storm, leaving the men stranded without communication for nearly 2 years. Spencer Smith did not survive, but his photographs did, perfectly preserved by the Antarctic cold, providing a remarkable look into early polar explorations. Today, as the ice slowly melts, Antarctica continues to reveal its past, challenging us to piece together the stories of long ago and the life that once thrived on this remote and harsh continent. As Antarctica reveals more of its past, we face the question of how to protect this pristine land responsibly. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on the topic? Do you agree with the perspectives shared? Leave your comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.